Um, good good afternoon, my YouTube video viewers. It's Crystal here. I'm just here because I wanted to give you another code review, and we're going to give you a code review on an IQ quiz, and it's going to be using the normal distribution. So on the normal distribution, before we go into the code, what I wanted to do is I wanted just to talk a little bit about what we're going to be discussing in the code review. So the first thing you need to know is about the normal distribution. And in statistics, a normal distribution or Gaussian distribution is a type of continuous probability distribution for a real value random variable. Your normal distribution is your bell curve, and right here is your formula for your normal distribution. And when we're going through the code, we're also going to be looking at something called CDF, and that is cumulative distribution function of a probability distribution contains the probabilities that a random variable x is less than or equal to x. So CDF is going to be something we're going to be talking about. And we're also going to be talking about PPF, so percent point function or inverse cumulative distribution function. And so we'll just say if we can get a good one here. The norm PPF is the inverse of norm CDF. In the example, it simply returns the value of the 95th percentile. There's no standard deviation multiplier. So this is just PPF. That's going to be something else we're going to be using. And also want to come over here to Stack Overflow. So what I did was I got the code in R and I translated it into Python. And I used this question with Stack Overflow to be able to translate it. So I used this code to give me a little bit of help. But what I would like to say is, if it wasn't for Stack Overflow, I would have a really hard time doing it because I look a lot of questions up in Stack Overflow. So it's a great website to use. I got the IQ quiz from this video right here. And so finally it stopped, but it's the statistics and probability full course. That's where I got the IQ quiz from, if you want to know where it is. So now that we've talked about a few things, we're going to go over here to R, because this is where I got the code, was from that YouTube video. And this is the question. It says, by design, intelligence quotient, IQ, measures in the U.S. follow a normal distribution with M equals 100 and S equals 15. So that's mu and sigma, or mean or standard deviation. What proportion of the U.S. has an IQ of less than 90? So that's P norm is 90, comma, M is your mean of 100, and S is your standard deviation of 15, gives you an answer of 0.2524925. The next question is, what IQ value separates the lower 30% from the upper 70%? And that's Q norm, so that gives you your quantiles of 0.3, M equals mu equals 100, and S is sigma, or standard deviation, is 15, and so that gives you 92.13399. The next question is, what proportion of Americans, and I misspelled that, have an IQ between 87 and 122? And the answer to that is P norm 122, with a mean of 100 and a standard deviation of 15 minus p-norm 87 with a mean of 100 and a standard deviation of 15, and that's 0.7, well, that's 7.7357043. And the last question is, what proportion of Americans have an IQ above 90? And the answer to that is 1 minus p-norm 90 with a mean of 100 and standard deviation of 15, and it gives you 7475075. So that is your answer in R, and that's the code that was given to me. And what I did was I translated it from R into Python, and I used this Stack Overflow question to help me. So that's what I did. So we have to import scipy.stats as stats. So what proportion of the U.S. has an IQ less than 90? The answer is stats.norm. 100 is your mu, 15 is your standard deviation, and then the CDF is 90, and that gives you 25249, and it's exactly the same as what was in R. The next question is, what IQ value separates the lower 30% from the upper 70%? The answer to that is stats.norm. 100 is your mean and 15 is your standard deviation, and .ppf 0.3. And then that gives you an answer of 92.13399. And that's exactly the same that's in R. The third question is, what proportion of Americans have an IQ between 87 and 122? So what you have to do is you have to subtract the answer for 87 from the answer from 122, and that will give you 0.735704. So that's how that works out. And then the last question is, what proportions of Americans have an IQ above 90? And the answer to that is 1 minus stats.norm. 100 is your mean, 15 is your standard deviation, .cdf 90. It gives you an answer of 0.7475074. And it's exactly what you got in R. So basically, the functions between R and Python are different, and they go about solving the problem differently, but they still get the same answer. So even though I was given the code for R, I was able to translate the code from R to Python, and I wasn't given that, and I wasn't given very much guidance other than a Stack Overflow question, which I love Stack Overflow. I use Stack Overflow a lot to solve problems, and it gives me a lot of help. So thank goodness for Stack Overflow. So I'm going to go ahead and close this video because we've completed the IQ quiz. And I'd like to say I would like to thank my subscribers for supporting my channel. If you like my channel, please like, subscribe, and share. And thank you very much for watching my IQ quiz code review. I look forward to making more videos and code reviews for you in the future.